Hello, I'm Jay from Volunteer Audio, and check out what I've got. I've got the new production version of the Hertz 6x9 cutting kit for the new body style Harley Davidson motorcycles. This is 24 and newer Street Glide and Road Glide base models and those new Ultras. Watch the rest of the video as I show you just how easy these are to add to your motorcycle. All right, so in the rest of this video, I'm going to show you these cut kits in detail. They look beautiful in our bike that you see here before me, and I'm going to show you step-by-step how to install them. But first, I want to let you know when these are going to be available. So if you pre-ordered from Volunteer Audio and you've already ordered these cut kits, you're in that first 350 units. We're going to make sure that you get them at the price that you've already paid, even though there's been some increases. But I got to give you some timelines. I've been a whole week now. We filmed this video a week ago, and I'm putting it up today, but I've been a week trying to find a firm date. These cut kits have been produced. They're sitting at the factory trying to get them shipped to us. Due to some slight production delays, along with some delays related to some changes in tariffs, they're going to be here, and I'm going to give you a worst case date. They could be here earlier than this, but the worst case date that I was given yesterday was April 20th to Volunteer Audio's door. Now, we're having them air freighted from the manufacturer straight to us. We're paying crazy shipping. We're paying crazy increase in the cost of the goods. You're still paying what you did. You're still getting free shipping, and I hate it's been delayed at all. Originally, they were supposed to be done the end of March. They ended up getting done the first week of April. Now we're paying a lot more to get them, but we are getting them to you as quick as we can. The good news is they're beautiful. They fit perfect. It's everything that we hoped they would be, and you'll see that as you watch the rest of the video. So check it out as I cut them in and I show them to you in our bike. All right, we are so close to shipping the pre-ordered Hertz cutting kits for the new body style Harleys. Hertz sent me the very first production sample to test fit, and I wanted to share a video with you showing you the parts, showing you the process, and showing you the end result. First off, when you order your kit, you're going to get a new grill that goes on top of your bag lid for the right and left side. Very good looking black metal mesh with the Hertz logo in it. We're also going to get an underside portion that goes under the lid and a cut template to go on top. Now you're going to get left and right of all of these, including all the necessary hardware to bolt them in. And you're going to get your rear harnessing. Nobody else is offering a kit this awesome that fits this well and clears the drop-in subwoofers. So I'm excited to show you the process. Let's get to the bike. We'll tape off our lid, bolt this down, and show you how to add these. All right, so there's really no need to take your seat off to do the cutting kit, and we'll do a later video where I show you about the harnessing that pins in under the seat and exactly how to install that as you do this install. Today, though, I removed my seat so you would have a better visibility of what I'm doing. And as soon as we get a readily available inventory of these, and we're doing bikes on a regular basis, I'll do a full step-by-step from the harnessing to the lids to both sides. I've already cut one in to test because I always want to do at least one before I video the process and show you. The left side of this bike is done and it turned out beautiful, and I want to show you the process on the right side now. First thing, anytime you do a cutting kit, you want to protect your painted lid. So we're going to tape off the top of the lid before we install our template. I love this cutting kit because Hertz actually copied the factory CVO style so well in a way that the speaker is going to be at the same angle and everything, so it clears both the factory drop-in subs and those new Hertz drop-in subs that'll be available very, very soon. This doesn't have to be perfect. This is just a layer of protection. We just want to make sure we don't have any buildup around the edges of tape that would cause us not to get our template in the right place. Now, you do not have to remove the lid from the bike to do this process. Some of you are probably going to think when you get into the inner portion that you would need to, but I'm going to show you some tips and tricks to make this easy. This is actually easier than putting on a new lid and a whole lot more cost effective. All right, so here is our production version of our lid cut-in template. You'll notice when you set it on top of the bag that it clears the handle, so no need to remove that. And it's going to have a stop on the front and the side that line up with some body lines. I also want you to look at the body lines on the bike and make sure they all line up where they're supposed to go. And when they're there, we're going to put 3 screws in, securing this in place before we decide to cut it. All right, so not a hard process. We've taped off that bag lid just to protect the template where it touches the paint. We've now screwed our template in place. That's going to keep our saw as we cut from ever making contact with the actual bag. Now I'm going to flip over from the other side, and I'm going to go over a few steps that you're going to see that we need to do from the inside before we're able to cut on the outside of the bag. The reason that we're going to have to go from the inside, we have to actually remove this holder. This holding position that holds this strap is part of our new cutting kit, and we're going to have to snip, we're going to unbolt this, and then we're going to snip this off, and we're going to sand it flush before we go ahead and start doing our cutting. All right, so first we're going to take a T15 Torx. We're just going to remove the little screws holding our cloth on. I'm going to drop that over. All right, so at this point, I'm going to start with a pair of snips, and I'm just going to start cutting around through here, releasing this plastic as I go. We've got to cut this off pretty well flush, and none of my tools make this super easy to do. I found that the best way to do it is just a set of cutters. But if you do this, you want to make sure you have a good set that's not going to break and throw something in your eye. These are Milwaukee ones, so they're pretty good quality. So I'm just going to cut and kind of break it as I go, and as I get around through here with it, and as it releases, I'll be able to take a sander and sand this smooth here in just a few minutes. I already put these screws in, so be careful not to cut your hands up on the screws sticking out. You could do this before, but now that I'm this far, I'm probably going to grab my oscillating tool and just hit the backside with it. Just that easy. All right, so now I'm just going to take a sander, and I'm going to come on the inside here and just sand these areas smooth. Definitely doesn't have to be perfect, but I just wanted to make sure that I've got it where our gaskets are going to come in here, that it has somewhere where it can seal well. So now we'll close our lid back, and we'll get us a drill bit, and we're going to pre-drill a hole to drop our blade in for our saw. All right, so I'm just going to pre-drill a hole right up here in the front. I chose here because that'll allow me to cut up through here, but also drop my saw in and come around this direction. I want to drill one more hole right back here. Same idea, by drilling this corner and this corner, I can go both directions with my saw. All right, so now we're going to start cutting our lid. My favorite tool is the Milwaukee Hacksaw. It uses an M12 battery. It's small, and I can really make it around the curves like a jigsaw, but without the big body of the jigsaw. This blade is part number 5162 from Milwaukee. They make it in different teeth, different lengths. I've got some shorter ones. You definitely don't want it longer than this one, but this is a jigsaw style blade, a scroll blade that fits into a sawzall. But this is my favorite tool when we do this. So what we're going to do is we're going to drop in here where we just did our pre-done hole, and I'm just going to follow this outside of this line right up to the top of the bag here. All right, so now I'm going to drop into that same hole. Let's come backwards and just clean up that beginning section just a little. All right, so now I'm going to drop in and go the other direction. This is where things get a little interesting. So all other cut kits we've done have never had this step here. There's a step. So now I'm going to cut up this way, and I'm going to come back. And the last part, I'm going to try to cut that step to release it here. All right, so as you're cutting it, you're definitely cutting through each one of these supports. It's becoming a little bit less connected. I'm going to cut down to here, then I'm going to cut up and over to here at last cutting this so that this distance doesn't change on me. So let me go ahead and go in here. Let's do this. Let's try to cut that step. So I was able to cut that little step. We're going to do the same thing here as far as starting up here, coming down to clean up the beginning of our cut. All right, so now I'm just going to clean up the edge a little bit where I cut it. This doesn't have to be perfect, but we like to try to make it as good as we can. So before I take my tape off, I'm just going to sand these edges. So honestly, once you install this, nobody's ever going to see this edge. It's completely hidden. But I just wanted to smooth it up a hair further. So now let's untape it. We'll put this the speaker in the cut kit, then the cut kit to the bike. All right, so this new design is completely different in a way that the speaker actually drops in to the cutting kit and screws in from the top. This gave enough room to clear the drop-in subwoofers later and take up even less bag space inside. With that being said, I want you to make sure your terminals are facing the middle of the bag, that you've already installed your gasket on the bottom of your speaker so everything's going to stay watertight, and then we're going to start putting our screws in. I'm going to tighten any of them all the way up until I get them all started. This is the new SX690H. This speaker was designed just for the new Harleys, and one of the key things they had to do is we had to cut this corner close so that the grill would go on. So this basket had to be redesigned. It also had to get really close in here. But this is definitely, this same speaker fits the new CVOs. And that CVO 6x9 lid, that factory lid, used this exact same shape and design. I mean, they mimicked the factory perfectly, which means you're going to have the exact look from underside as well, from the underside. Just tightening each one of these up, being careful that I don't harm anything about the speaker when I do it. All right, so you'll see there's already a gasket installed. You always want to inspect and make sure that gasket's there and installed before you move forward. And now we're going to show you the next kind of interesting part of this design that's different than any of the previous ones that we've had. So as I stated earlier, you're going to get all the hardware you need in the package. But what I find interesting about this kit, you know, we cut that out earlier, and the reason we did that is we were going to cut right through where it was. I didn't want your saw to hit it and get in the way. This lip of the cutting kit actually slides underneath this cable that does our latch and our lock system. So you're going to start by coming in here and you're going to bring it in under that. You're also going to come underneath over here and you're going to slide it toward the rear, which is going to make it fall into place where it's supposed to go. So now I've slid it all the way in underneath here, under here. I'm going to look from the other side. And you'll see now we line up perfectly with our cut area on this side. So I'm going to take my cutting kit, and these front screws have to drop in from this way. So you're going to come from this direction, bringing it in and under so it fits that hole that we cut perfectly. Now we're going to flip it over. Now we got our cloth off of here because we had to cut that holder out, but we're going to start our first screw through. So I want you to look through the hole at the brass insert from the grill, making sure that all of this is lined up where it needs to go. And we're going to be real careful as we start our screw that we feel that it's started and it's pulling in. So here it is. I'm already threading in. This is a very, very well-fitting cutting kit. I just started that several turns. I'm going to go up here and do the same thing on this front one. It's also pulling in. So started several on that one. Let's move to this rear location. So I always push in until I kind of feel it click, and then I'm able to start my screw. It's pulling in. You hear that brass kind of squeak a little bit. Now I'm going to start my last screw here in the back corner. Once you've got them all in, I'm going to start tightening this back one in more. I'm just tightening each one of these into that brass insert until I feel like they're tight. They're going to go until they pretty well bottom out and stop. Once you feel they bottom out, you're going to quit turning it. All right, so that one bottomed out. Just recheck that they're all the way tight. Now you'll see, wow, it fits great. It is just so pulled in, so tight to that lid. We'll take a lot of pictures from different angles here and we'll share them with you. I've got a little bit of dust on here from my sanding still, but we're gonna have this bike detailed here real soon, get all that off of there. I'll do another vacuum on the inside. But there you have it. It looks just like the inside of a CVO lid. They did a great job on that fitment. Let's go ahead and add our screws back in, holding that retainer. We'll be doing another one of these soon. And in it, we'll be going over how to run the wiring as well. We'll go over all those steps. But I wanted to show you exactly how this cutting goes in and how great that it fits. It's just amazing how well it fits. All right, so we'll plug our speaker back in. So I know a lot of y'all are excited about this. You've waited on this for a while, and I'm excited about it as well. So glad to finally have the production version of the cutting kit. The first sample, you've seen it. The first one fits amazing. I'm sure all the other ones will fit just like it. Thank you so much for watching. Excited to get these in. Again, first week of April is the estimated time. They'll have them done at the end of March, but we have to have them air freighted in. They have to clear customs. They have to get here. So sometime in the first week of April, if you've pre-ordered them, they're going to start shipping to you. If it's April already, when you're watching this video, these videos live for a long time. If it's past the first week of April and you go to our website and it no longer says pre-order, we're currently shipping the units. Now, we only have so many on this first shipment. So if you haven't pre-ordered yet, you need to do so. That guarantees you to get one. We've not got a ton coming in on the first order, but within a couple weeks, maybe 30 days after, we'll have more in inventory to ship. But Hertz did a great job, guys. Hats off. Wonderful job making it fit like factory and making it where we don't have to spend so much money on those Harley lids. It looks great. It's going to make our jobs faster and easier, and I think you're going to love the design when you get it on your bike. Thank you for watching. Subscribe to Volunteer Audio. Follow us on Facebook. By doing that, you're going to hear about new products before anybody else. You're going to see them installed. You're going to see how to use them. And we're going to teach you everything you need to know so that you make the right decision with your money the first time. Now, if I didn't cover something, maybe you have questions. This is part of our full A2B system. Volunteer Audio is the only company with an A2B interface that replaces that factory amp, has a built-in DSP, and we perfectly pre-tune a very, very powerful Hertz 1000 watt RMS, 2000 watt peak amp that goes into fairing. This is part of that huge upgrade. Now, a lot of you have asked, will the factory speakers fit in here? And yes, they will. If you wanted to use the factory 5x7s or the upgraded 6x9s, they will fit this cutting kit and still save you like $1,100 over buying the lids at Harley. It's a much, much better deal. But I think you're really going to want to use these Hertz speakers with it because they're a better price, a better quality, a better warranty, and the sound is absolutely amazing. Like this video. By doing so, it's going to move us up in search results. Other people are going to see this video. It helps us. It's free to you. We appreciate that. Comment below if you have anything you want to say about it. What do you think? Let me know what you think about it and how excited are you as well to see it. And I like seeing those comments and those words of encouragement. Thank you so much. And as always, God bless.